everybody, and welcome. So, this week we are going to talk about one of the topics that there has been a lot of talk, which is novation. So, make sure you make comments, interact with us. This is being broadcasted live, so that I know if there's anything I can work with. So, if you look at the terminology of novation, and make sure, by the way, you download the PDF. We shared the PDF with you earlier in the week, so make sure you go and download the PDF or comment here. We can send you the PDF if you need to. But if you really look at the term novation, it's basically is substituting or creating a contract for another contract. Okay, so when you look at real estate investing, what does this specifically mean? So now let me tell you some about the other strategies or exit strategy. This is mainly done for wholesaling, by the way. We have the double closing where you actually close on a deal and then you sell it to somebody else, right? So you close, even if you own the property for only 5 minutes, you physically close on the property and then you flip it to somebody else. That's called a double closing. Assignment is when you write a contract on a property and then you assign it to somebody else for a fee. Okay, so I assign the contract and then I wrote the contract and then I write an assignment or sales contract, and then somebody else is going to take over my contract and go to closing, and then they're going to pay me a fee. Okay, so that you just write a regular sale contract between you and the owner, and then you prepare an assignment or sale contract, and an assignment or sale contract goes to title company, so they know that that's going to be part of the closing cost and you get a fee. Now, innovation is a little different. Okay, so innovation is basically making an agreement with the owner that you are going to substitute your contract and somebody else is going to go through with the purchase. Okay, so basically, kind of it's like an assignment in a way, but the biggest difference I can explain to this, the biggest difference is instead of being like an assignment where your assignment fee comes from the buyer, with innovation, your quote unquote fee comes from the seller. So basically, you make an agreement with the seller that, anything over a certain price, for example, you're going to split 50-50. So let's say, for example, he wants $200,000 for a property, and you think you can probably sell it for 200, 210. You don't know yet. This market's been crazy lately, right? So maybe you make an agreement with him at 180, 190, and then anything over that price, you're going to split with the seller. So potentially you can get this $200,000 and more, but now he's in a partnership with you. Okay, so it also prevents a lot of the issues that some of you have had of people trying to go around you and things like that, because you create a partnership with the seller. So when you create a sales contract with the seller, you also create a novation agreement with the seller doing this partnership. Now, this is going to really take a lot of interest here this summer, because there's some laws changing when it comes to commissions. I don't know if you're aware of, but there was a big lawsuit going on with the National Association of Realtors, and now they're saying, well, we're not going to enforce anymore, basically, that the seller has to pay commissions for both listing agents and buyer's agent, right? There's more of a decision that the seller can pay commission only for his agent, and the buyer has to pay the commission for the buyer's agent. Well, you can see where that's going to lead a lot of confusion and different things that we're not even aware of what it could lead to potentially, right? But that's why I think innovation is going to take really a different, a lot of interest here lately. Now, there is a fourth strategy coming up, which has been around, by the way, for a long time. I've used this fourth strategy that now everybody's talking about back in the 90s. And it's called the installment agreements or installment method. And this is taken a lot of attention, especially in South Carolina, where they're saying, well, wholesaling is illegal because, technically, the thing is, you're not flipping a property, you're flipping a contract, but people obviously have abused this privilege or this law, and now it's creating a lot of confusion about making it illegal. So with that said, you can get around it with installment agreements or contract for deeds, and that would be topic for another time. Okay, so I just want to let you know that I am very well aware of that, and that, that's something that we can definitely teach you as well. But novation is, for most states, that's very acceptable, because basically you partner with the seller to sell a property. Now, there is some paperwork involved that you have to get signed between you and the seller to make this a real, interest, and then that you can legally do so. So there is a paperwork that we provide to our students that is going to make legal with novation. Okay, so I want to share, like I said, we have a link here for you to download the PDF. So if you have not received it earlier in the week, make sure you click on the link. But let me share some of the things that we have in the PDF that I want to bring to your attention. And what is the benefits of innovation? Okay, well, the benefits is obviously the fact that you can go to the seller and have the seller understand that now you're working as a partnership. It's not you putting the property under contract and then selling to somebody else and keeping the profit, because obviously, the seller might want more for the property. But what I've noticed is when you create an innovation type agreement, your profits per deals are actually higher than the regular double closing on assignment, because the seller is willing to work with you in a partnership. So it's easier for me to get the seller to agree to a lower number in order for that to work out, if that makes sense. So innovation is really a way to get more out of each deal than a regular double closing or assignment. Okay, so that's the thing. And also, it's kind of a newer way of doing things, because a lot of sellers are already used with the fact of wholesalers, double closings, assignments. They know all that. But to come in and say, I'm going to create more of a partnership with you where we work with it, because that goes back to really educating the seller. Why would the seller work with you instead of going to a real estate agent? That's a big one, right? Because I'm sure a lot of you have heard from sellers that they say, you know what, I just go ahead and list a property, But think about it. Now, if you have to pay a commission on a $200,000 deal, for example, nowadays is anywhere from $12,000 and up, right, for a commission. And on top of that, you have to go through do inspections, have people walk through the house, bother the tenants, whatever the case might be. So there are 6 things that I say, I educate the seller to say, it's probably better off that I work with you as an investor, and you can buy the property as is. You're not going to demand inspection. You're not going to have all these people coming and going from my own property and bother the tenants. So if you frame it that way with a seller, what the advantage is to work with you as an investor instead of listing it, that is a huge, huge advantage in your favor. And that's what innovation allows you to do, because then at the end of the day, say, first of all, you never want to say that you're a wholesaler. Okay. You always say, I'm an investor working with other investors. And when you say it that way, I'm an investor working with other investors, then actually is opening up the fact that you create this partnership. So the seller also can create a partnership with you through innovation. Okay, so just to summarize here then, and then we're going to go into a couple other things I'll talk about. We have a great raffle here that we have this week. So actually, let me start getting that ready. And then, let's see. And then, we're going to open up if you have any questions about innovations as well. Okay. Let me get the raffle here ready so I can share with you guys. Okay. So, okay, let's summarize innovation. So with innovation, you still go out there and market and get the leads on property as you always do. You go ahead and approach the seller. And if you do what I call my 3-prong contract, which, by the way, we're going to have a masterclass coming up here in a couple of weeks I would suggest you really get in the masterclass. We're going to give you step by steps on what to do. We're also going to talk about Novation, give you the steps there. But one of the strategies that I use is what I call my 3-prong contract when I talk to the seller. So Novation being one of the prongs on the contract. So you have an agreement with the seller. You say to the seller, okay, we're going to write the contract, but I'm also going to attach this Novation. That could be one of the options you give them. And with Novation, we're going to create this partnership where I'm actually going to talk to my investors, and we, over this certain price, we can split the profits. Okay, so basically that's how you present it. We have a script on what to say. We have the Novation agreement. We have all of that. So, but that's how you do it. And then you sign the contract, and then you go market the property as usual. And then anything that goes over a certain price, you're going to split with the seller. And like I've seen historically, I've seen it happening all the time, that your profits are honestly quite a bit higher than the $10,000 that you're expected for wholesaling a deal. But that's simply in a nutshell. So it's another strategy that you use together with assignments and double closing. And the installment agreement method is coming up as the next thing here, especially in states where they're going to wholesale, make it illegal. But the thing is the great thing about real estate is that when one door closes, another one opens. Okay, so don't get scared. Say, oh my God, what if I require a license in my state, or they make it illegal? That's okay. Okay, real estate investors are very resilient, and there is always way to do things. I've been in real estate for almost 4 decades. I started back in the 80s. So the thing is, it's like, trust me, I've seen a lot of cycles and a lot of things changing, but I'm still here to this day, and I will be here for the next, hopefully, 40 years. Okay, so let me go ahead now and pull the raffle for this week. Bear with me if I can find it and see. Let's see here. Any questions now while I do this? And then I'm going to say the raffle. So you need to stay here so you can see if you won the raffle. So should have had this earlier. I apologize. Okay. So let me present the raffle here. Well, let me go ahead and say who the winner is first while I figure this out. I apologize. It's going to be Michelle Marion. So Michelle Marion, you are the winner. So if you do, see this video, if you're here right now, please go ahead and comment. And if you're not, then you can email at questions@realestateinvestingwomen.com. Okay, so let me share the raffle here. There you go, I got it. Okay, so that is the raffle. So let's see if I can make it smaller so you can see it. So great. So what you get is a shirt, and also there's the front and the back of it. And now also you get the tickets, VIP tickets to the masterclass. So with that said, we're going to go ahead and post the masterclass. I see that's already been posted. This is coming up in 2 weeks. And this masterclass is going to go into wholesaling, buying, hold, and fix and flip. If you are interested in wholesaling, I strongly suggest you do attend this masterclass, because we're going to talk about the 4 different exit strategy. They're wholesaling, Novation, and also installment method being some of the new ones, on top of the double closing and assignments. So if you are a new person, please, go ahead and join. It's only the cost of a coffee a day for the whole week. If you go to Starbucks even one morning, you skip one morning, they will pay for the whole week of masterclass. So it's definitely an amazing value. And as part as Michelle, if you go ahead and email to questions, you claim your prize. You also get a free VIP upgrade. So great prize for this week. Okay, so let me go ahead and answer some of the questions here. So Rosemary says, as a realtor, how would I present something like this? So good questions. When you are a real estate when you're licensed, you always have to disclaim that you're licensed. Okay. So I was licensed for over 20 years and a real estate investor. I personally never used my license well, I used it in the beginning when I was an agent back in Hawaii, but after 91, I did not use my license for listing or selling properties for anybody else but my own. So, with that said, being in that position, I had a lot of more freedom to do what I wanted to do. Now, because of the new laws and things that are changing here in the next month or so, first of all, you have to. One of the things you can do is basically give your prospect the choice of you acting as a real estate agent or acting as an investor, right? Because it's a little different. So if he wants to go the regular route or listing the property on the MLS and paying the commission, then you're a real estate agent. But a lot of time it might be more advantageous to him and you that you wear the hat of a real estate investor. So with that said, you say, I tell you what, to list your properties as 6% commission, for example. Then you have to deal with inspections. You have to deal with different agents coming through the property, and it can get a little tough, especially if they have tenants in the property. And that's the regular side of doing things. However, since I am also a real estate investor, I can offer you a different possibility here where we create a partnership. I work with a lot of different investors because remember, you're never going to say you're a wholesaler. You're an investor working with other investors, same thing. I work with different investors and I can present the opportunity to them, and if they pick up the opportunity, instead of paying the commissions, we can split the profits over the certain amount. Okay. So that's how you present it to them. And now, anybody who is licensed, and this is something that you have to be aware of, is that not only you have to disclose your license, but also you need to disclose to your broker, whoever owns your license, if you are an investor, because there are going to be a lot of things where there's no commission involved. Not only this particular situation, but let's say that you get an enough market deal, right? And there's no commission being exchanged, but you also have to disclaim that you're an investor. So how do you get around that? Well, you don't get around it really. You either have a conversation with your broker and your broker is okay with it, or you need to sign a waiver for your errors and omission insurance, or you go hang your license with an independent broker, meaning not a big company, but kind of a mom and pop's real estate brokerage. Or is what I did, I became an independent broker. I held my own license so I could do whatever I wanted. So those are kind of the 4 options for anybody who is licensed, okay? So yeah, Rosemary, so for the broker in charge and you have your own company, then you're free. Just make sure you disclose all the time that you are licensed and tell your prospects that you can give them a couple of different options. Either he goes a regular route or he works with you and the investors. And the advantage of that is that you can buy and sell the property as is. You don't have to take a ton of people through their house. It doesn't have to get blasted all over the internet, especially if you have the tenants in there. And at the end of the day, you're still probably going to make the same or more because there is no commission. So great question. Okay, anyone else has any other questions? So if not, hopefully this was interesting and something. Definitely make sure you download the PDF. Make sure that you also go ahead and join the masterclass because we're going to go a lot more detail, especially with the 3-prong contract. I think it is, to me, when I started doing it that way, it was really a game changer as far as people saying more yes than no's to real estate, to my offers on deals. So definitely you want to, even if you just attend for the 3-prong contract, the $7 is totally worth it. So great. Thanks, everybody. And I will see you next week. And don't forget to sign for the masterclass. Take care.